are ready to go. It looks like both teams are ready to go, so we should be getting into champion select fairly quickly. What do you think, based on what you saw, what can Overpowered do to try to get this game too?
Well, yeah, that's going to be the difficult thing. It's going to really be an interesting picks and bans phase because El Yolo, with that convincing victory with that dual AD comp, they really threw the ball into Overpowered's court. And so El Yolo is going to have a pretty good amount of control throughout this picks and ban phase, especially since they do have the last pick here on the purple side. And so if they want to try that again, if they want to try that dual AD comp again, they can wait until the very last minute to pop that. That's what they're doing. On the other side of things, Overpowered, they're going to have to. I mean, that Vayne ban is very expected. Definitely expected that ban. But after that, it's really going to be difficult for them to ban out because everybody looked good from El Yolo in that last game. And I think that they would. I think their initial thought would be possibly to go for maybe a more assassination comp to try to make sure that they can kill those 80 carries. But they're not going to know necessarily, and so I guess we'll just find out. Here is Vayne, Malzahar, Vlad on one side for bans, Fizz, Sivir, and the final ban coming out here for El Yolo.
Yeah, so I was actually almost expecting the Spider ban, but my guess is that Overpowered might try to pick up that at least for themselves. So we'll see who the last ban coming out for El Yolo is. But that Spider also just making things happen. Kassadin actually being the first or the last ban for El Yolo.
Yeah, and that tells me that we may actually see another Orianna. Orianna worked very well for them last game, and it's a very flexible pick anyway. As actually Megamoon hovering over Thresh at once again. And he actually did do a very good job as Thresh last game, as far as he did land the pulls. It didn't work out for them in the end, obviously, but that definitely is a strong pick, so I would not be surprised if they picked that up. But I wouldn't be surprised to see another Orianna pick up early here from El Yolo as that Kassadin was banned out.
Yeah, I'm with you. It wouldn't be super surprising to me either. It looks like Moon deciding whether or not to actually take the Thresh. I mean, I guess he will pick up the Thresh, but maybe just giving his team some additional time to think about strategy there. Zygex actually hovers over that Hecarim pick. And Hecarim, I haven't seen a whole lot of Hecarim since those nerfs came out. Hecarim used to be a very powerful jungler that would almost always be picked or banned. But not... Oh, I guess just as I start talking about him, of course they're going to switch to that Victor pick, which I'm not going to judge, but yeah, I haven't seen Victor a lot either.
I do not expect Victor to be picked up here. I don't know. Maybe one-man army. He's got that ace in the hole. Not Caleb's ace in the hole, but his personal ace in the hole in that Victor pick. But I think that's probably troll. I think we would see Teemo before we would see Victor here. So we'll see what they actually have coming out. They actually do lock in Elise, and they did like that pickup as well.
So same teams coming out.
Yeah. And this wouldn't be the first time. I've had a couple of games where in series they pick the exact same team compositions from one to the next. Obviously, Vayne is going to be out here, so fortunately we're not going to see 100% same team comps. But with the bans this time, Vi is actually open, so that actually could be a very realistic pickup here from the side of Overpowered. And we'll see if they choose to lock that in.
Yeah, so that Vi pickup being very strong, Vi used very prolifically in the Worlds. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that all. Panda's Poacher actually opting for Ezreal, perhaps, hovering over that Ezreal.
Well, and that's an interesting pickup as well, because that actually is a fairly flexible pick, and I'm not sure if they practiced it, but they could use that as a possible... playing the mind games possibly if they might go for a dual AD comp, or rather Panda's Poacher maybe playing a blue build or Trinity Force build in the mid lane, and maybe playing Overpowered's game here as they may try to go for a dual AD comp as Psych Out locking in Caitlyn for the side of El Yolo's game. And we'll see here.
Yeah, so one-man army opting not to choose a champion quite yet, isn't hovering over anything, and a Xerath pick coming out. My goodness, Xerath can be absolutely terrifying. It's very difficult to play against a Xerath because, yep, and he's going to lock it in. So when he goes into his locus of focus or something like that, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's his W. When he goes prone and can't move, he has additional magic penetration, and so with the Void Staff and that, anybody who has less than 70 magic resist is taking true damage from that Xerath. So being able to do a ton of damage, especially with that ultimate, can absolutely melt a team. I think he really shines when you're trying to siege down a turret. You can use that ultimate to, essentially melt a team and make it very easy for your team to turret tower dive.
Yeah, the thing though about that pickup in Xerath is that they Overpowered had not really shown mid lane necessarily, and so they do have the option of counter here, and Ahri would be a good option for that. How do you stop an immobile siege type champion with skill shots? Well, it's with a very mobile champion like Ahri with a hard CC like that Charm, and so we'll see here. That's a good pickup, I think, here from the side of Overpowered, and we'll just see if one-man army, who has been a force throughout the last game, if he can outshine that in that mid lane once again on Xerath. As the other pickups there, Renekton being picked up for that top lane, and it looks like on the other side, Nasus being hovered over right now. We may have a battle of the brothers there in the top lane.
So Ahri, I want to go back to talking about that a little bit. There are so many clips on the internet of Ahri just absolutely outplaying Xerath, because Xerath's ultimate can easily be countered by Ahri's ultimate. Ahri can just, whenever Xerath throws down one of those charges, she can just ult right out of it. I mean, the circle for those ultimates from Xerath are not quite as large as Ahri's range, so Ahri can just boop, dash right out of it with her ultimate. So yeah, I mean, it should be very
3 for 3.
Yeah,
and so it really is going to be an interesting matchup. I would expect Xerath to play somewhat conservatively, especially after level 6, and really just try to hit that team fight phase where he will be able to sit in the back lines and do damage. But yeah, only time will tell, as he is going to be being dove on by Renekton and Ahri, not to mention Vi and Thresh, and so they've definitely got a dive-heavy team here. As they're going to be jumping into these fights, and it's going to be a good one no matter what. The thing about dive compositions, though, against that Nami ultimate really does become a huge factor. So that's definitely a good pickup here from the side of El Yolo, as those are going to be our teams, and we'll be getting into the delay here in just a sec. But let's talk a little bit about level 1s. What do you think as far as level 1s go?
So, with regards to level 1s, the Thresh Hook, I would say, is the only move that will likely be picked up without question. The Ruthless Predator coming out for Renekton with the stun, I don't know that that's the best ability to get as your first ability in laning phase. Unless they catch somebody out, they won't have a stun there. The Charm could potentially be picked up by Big Fat Chocoboko, so they potentially have two forms of crowd control coming out there. Vi could potentially pick up her knockup, and it's not a bad move. It's not a bad ability for you to get first on that Vi, because it does help with your jungling, helps with your wave clear. But on the other side, it looks like the bubble will likely be the only for sure form of crowd control coming out for El Yolo. So I would say when it comes to level 1s, Overpowered has a significant advantage. But El Yolo potentially has some crowd control. One-man army likely will not, actually for sure will not have a stun, because his stun needs to be comboed with another ability. So I would say when it comes to level 1, Overpowered definitely has the ability to grab somebody and lock them down until they just die.
Yeah, really, that bubble is going to be the main factor. That the only reason I would not expect to see any level 1 out of either of these teams, because that Nami bubble is always going to be a wild card in that level 1, and so I would expect very little a level 1 play. However, since this could possibly be a do or die situation for Overpowered, this is when you start to see some of these trick plays and trick play type plays being played for Overpowered. So they may actually go for something here in the level 1, try to get themselves an early advantage. But I guess only time will tell, as we are about a minute away One thing that I'm really interested to see is which way this Ezreal goes as far as builds, because I almost would expect him to go more of a standard. More of a standard build as far as damage goes for an AD carry, Bloodthirster, rather than like a blue build, or even he may go Triforce into some more damage. I think Triforce is really powerful on Ezreal right now, but he's going to need to be a consistent outputter of damage here, as everyone else on the team, I guess except for Ari, is going to be just producing a low consistent amount of damage depending on how fed they get, I guess. But that's why he's so favored in team comps with dual AD, is that he can output a little bit of AP damage if he needs to. But
That's true, and a lot of, I guess, really a balanced damage coming out from both of these teams. Zygex being able to put out a little bit of ability power damage with that at least. And we are going to be loading into game very shortly here. Again, this is game 2 of the Epic Fall Tournament Finals. The winner of this will take home 3,200 RP per summoner, as well as a Triumphant Rise skin.
yes, and if you missed game 1, El Yolo got off to an early lead with a very late game team comp, and they were able to pick it up in the end. However, Overpowered, they sieged very well around 3 open inhibitors, and they lost the Baron, and that was what sealed the deal there for El Yolo, as they are looking at sealing away this series right now, and Overpowered looking at bringing it to a game 3. Overpowered is on team blue, and El Yolo on purple.
All right, so let's go ahead and introduce these two teams one more time. I will take Overpowered this time. Overpowered on the blue side, we have Moon on Thresh, Just Casual on Vi, Panda's Poacher on Ezreal, Big Fat Chocoboko on Ari, and Owner Poner on Renekton.
Yes, and on the red side, we've got El Yolo, and Zygax will be playing Elise, Aquarius on Caitlyn, Psychout will be playing Nami, One-Man Army will be in there in the mid lane on Xerath, and Black Mamba on Nasus, going to be in that other solo lane. And yeah, those are going to be our teams for today.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, Zygex played Elise last time, correct?
He did indeed.
And he used the championship Elise, or the victorious Elise skin.
He did indeed.
So I'm wondering why he went with no skin this time.
Well, he was feeding a little bit last game, so I think he just wanted to change things up just a little bit. He was jumping in a little too far, feeling very victorious. But so I guess he's just taking a step back and going into the vanilla skin. And with that, we've got 2 skins against 3 skins. And this time, actually, we saw El Yolo taking that skin advantage and pulling out a win with it. But this time, Overpowered bringing the skins to the table.
Yep. So actually, it looks like it's a pretty even skin battle at this point. But okay, so we do have some pings going down. It looks like El Yolo is going to, or not El Yolo, sorry. Overpowered is going to invade in the same way that El Yolo tried to invade last time. So yeah. El Yolo is opting not to all come down. It looks like Elise wants to start at that red buff.
Yeah, interestingly enough, they actually may be going for their own blue steel here. Or possibly just defending their own red buff. Either way, yeah, Overpowered posturizing here in this brush in the bot lane.
So Overpowered moving forward. They haven't been spotted quite yet.
30 seconds.
They still have not been spotted yet. And it looks like Renekton opting to go back. They are in this brush. It looks like they're going to go for something very aggressive. It looks like, nope. Just trolling us there.
Just trolling us there. Is actually Xerath is now going to be spotting them out.
So Xerath walks away. We'll see. Oh, the hook does not land, but a flash forced. A flash in the mid lane on a Xerath that has no escapes is much more powerful than a flash on a support. So great trade coming out there for Moon. Even though the Thresh hook was not going to land, that flash was just a little bit wasted. But
yeah, a little bit wasted. And that's, I guess, the insult to injury there, and that Thresh was not going to hit that, but Yeah, huge pickup there, and would not be surprised to see some early action here in the the mid lane, excuse me, against Xerath, as blue buffs are going to be traded across from both sides. The only difference is El Yolo does know that this is happening. On the other side, Overpowered, they can probably assume that it's happening, but they actually don't have any vision on their own blue side. So, as we are going to be returning to some lane swaps, actually.
So Xerath actually going down into that bot lane. Likely because Xerath, I think, will do better in a 2v1 lane than... I don't know, I could be completely wrong there.
Well,
so,
yeah, he is going to have the range, so he is going to be able to farm fairly well by himself, especially since his first item pickup is that Crystalline Flask, and so he is going to be able to maintain his health and maintain his mana in order to farm up, especially with that siege range that he has. In the meantime, Ahri not quite as good in the 2v1 situation, and so we'll see how they fare across the board, I guess.
Yeah, so up in that top lane, we do have even CS coming out there, but you know, it looks like Xerath is having a little bit more of a hard time farming than that Ahri so far. But that's not necessarily indicative as they are, you know, so I don't know. Oh, but it looks like we do have a gank coming in that top lane. Zygax actually stuns up Owner-Poner. Owner-Poner uses that dash to try to get away. We'll see if he can back away from this Black Mamba. Will not land that Q the second time. Looks like Owner-Poner will walk away from that, but is forced out of lane.
Yeah, now being brought to just over 100 health there is, Xerath actually getting caught up by another hook in the bot lane.
Yeah, and Xerath has to be very careful here because Moon and Panda's Poacher do have the range and the damage to take him out, and it looks like they are going to try to do so. But we'll see one more hook landing, and that'll be the end of it. Big Fat Chocopoke actually lands the charm onto Aquarius, but there were minions there. The hook actually landing. Barrier comes out. One more auto attack would have finished off one-man army, but unfortunately, the tower was targeting that Ezreal, so he will back away and live to fight another day.
Yeah, and he has that Crystalline Flask, so he's going to get up to about as much health as Panda's Poacher has, and it looks like Elise going to be getting in there. Elise is going to be spotted out by this very good ward in the Tri-Brush, though, and so it looks like they're going to know that that's there. It's still going to be a very good move for Zygax to be there, just to support this Xerath in the bot lane, as he is not faring very well right now.
Yeah, so up in that top lane, it's just a battle of the brothers, and they're just going to be kind of wailing on each other. Owner-Poner doesn't have mana that he has to deal with, which will give him some advantage there, but Elise also just staying in that brush for quite a long time. Isn't really getting XP, but it looks like Big Fat Chocoboco taken very low. Psych Out also taking a tower shot. Not two, though. Owner's one-man army actually takes out... one-man army will go down. First Blood going down. Just Casual will be able to take out Black Mamba. Owner-Poner will go down, so that is 1-for-1 exchange in that top lane, but a lot of XP missed. Meanwhile, Moon actually will not be able to take out Zygax. Zygax taking down Panda's Poacher, so that is a 2-for-2 exchange overall. But there's going to be a lot of damage going down in this top lane, or on that top lane turret. So El Yolo taking, going pretty even. Gold's still pretty even, but I guess a teleport coming out from Nasus.
Yeah, Black Mamba is going to mitigate some of the damage onto that turret just by teleporting there. However, that still is a good chunk taken out of it here at just over 5 minutes into the game. But we saw an even trade as far as kills go across the board. However, Thresh picking up that kill in the bot lane, and then they gave a kill over to Vi as well, whereas on the other side of things, Elise and then Nasus getting the kills. So really none of the carries actually picking up kills on that one. So we'll see how that turns out as everyone's returning to their lane matchups. Meanwhile, as far as farm goes, it's Caitlyn right now is and Nasus the only ones with any clear advantage here, but they're both doing very well from the side of El Yolo. Nonetheless, and that is actually giving them a very slight gold lead, even though they did give up first blood. Yeah,
so this mid tower actually being taken low, so it looks like El Yolo will be able to pick up first tower blood as well if they continue this. Aquarius doing a good job attacking that tower whenever he gets the chance. Panda's Poacher also landing those abilities quite handily, but just doesn't have tons of damages at this point. Does have the makings of a phage, but hasn't completed the phage quite yet. Whereas Caitlyn only has a Doran's Blade. So Caitlyn does get locked up there, but the bubble does land. Aquarius doing a lot of damage to Moon and Panda's Poacher, and it looks like that will be an overall advantage in favor of El Yolo.
Yeah, and once again, we're seeing that if Mega Moon and Panda's Poacher can't pick up a kill from a hook, it's going to become more and more difficult for them, as Nami is going to be able to heal up to Aquarius, and Aquarius is just absolutely putting out a ton of damage there onto Panda's Poacher. And yeah, we'll see here as the dual lanes are opting for this mid lane as Overpowered does not want to lose that mid turret early on, and it's actually working out, I think, very well for Overpowered here, because they didn't lose that mid turret yet, and they're going to be able to defend a lot better with that duo lane in the mid lane. And just now hitting level 6, we've got Big Fat Chocoboko. Perfect timing there. That's when he wants to go up against Xerath, as they are going to now give Xerath blue buff, which is going to be his really only advantage here in this bot lane.
Yeah, so good Lantern being thrown out there. Unfortunately, the death sentence does miss. Aquarius taken very low. We'll see if we'll go down. No, we'll not go down. Just Casual actually coming in there, but Psych Out flashing away. Barrier just saving Aquarius there, but Aquarius is forced out of lane.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage there. Nice dodge there, Aquarius. He was going to die to that Ezreal ultimate. He's able to escape, and with this three members of Overpowered here in this mid lane, they're actually going to be able to turn this dual lane swap around and pick up the first turret of the game themselves, as Elise is going to be a little bit too late to the party, if she even chooses to go there at this point.
Yeah, so first turret blood does go in favor there, and it looks like Poner in the top lane is opting to do a little bit of proxy farming.
Yeah, going in up in behind. Black Mamba does not like that, hits him on the head with his staff, as they are going to dive under their own opponent, popping that ultimate.
Yeah, the ultimate actually coming out from Vi there. Black Mamba taken very low, did pop the ghost, and will be able to walk away from that. Zygax actually coming up, but unfortunately that does mean that Black Mamba is going to be missing out on quite a bit of farm, and a lot of damage is going to be done to that turret from this minion wave coming up. So, you know, Black Mamba didn't die, and that's a good thing, but second turret blood, no, it looks like there are members responding to this, but they're going to put a lot of damage onto this turret, and I guess it's potentially, it still could go down there. The minions are doing quite a bit of damage. Just Casual actually uses an ability that gets the tower targeting them. Owner Poner opting to flash away from that. Zygax actually lands the stun into Just Casual. Owner Poner goes back in there, but it looks like Aquarius is coming up top. Owner Poner's taken low, does sacrifice himself for Just Casual, but unfortunately for them, Aquarius comes up and picks up the kill.
Yeah, and they weren't able to get that turret. They did get off a lot of damage, and so not completely wasted there, even though they did lose that kill, really 1-for-0 in the end. They got off enough damage on that turret that it could become a huge factor, as they, from last game, they know they need to get global objectives. And so they're right now, Overpowered doing a much better job of it this game than last game, where at one point we were 9-1 in turrets in favor of El Yolo. And on the other side of things, El Yolo still without, I mean, they've got some damage on that mid turret, but that is about it, as both the top and bottom turrets very safe here from the side of Overpowered. And looks like Aquarius looking at trying to push up this mid lane.
Yeah, meanwhile, one-man army having a little bit of a rough time farming, but is out farming Big Fat Chocoboko, who gets withered up there. Just Casual actually jumps in onto Aquarius. The ultimate, I don't think, is available. Aquarius actually gets charmed up there. The sphere will pick up the kill. Black Mamba trying to pick up Big Fat Chocoboko. Moon is there. The box goes down. Exhaust comes out, and Black Mamba will go down. So
yeah, Ezreal coming across there for show. But yeah, nice pickup there by Overpowered. They were able to just roam across the map and get the people in the right place there to give them a 2-for-0 in kills. And that's going to give them a pretty firm lead, especially because they may be able to get this dragon. Xerath trying to poke away at them from far. But it's not going to be enough, as yeah, they are going to lose this dragon. They're going to lose that top turret, and Overpowered showing a fairly sizable lead here early on in the game. 11 minutes and 30 seconds in, 16.7k to 13.2.
Yeah, and it looks like they are trying to push down this bottom turret as well, and it's only Nami here that can help prevent this, but I don't think that they're going to be able to stop this from happening. So it looks like Overpowered doing a great job of pushing down these global objectives. Yeah, this turret's going down.
Yeah, Nami has the ultimate, but it's going to be very scary to go in onto this, even with Caitlyn there. And so they're going to concede this turret 3-0 in turrets. And unfortunately, El Yolo, they went for that lane swap early on, but they were unable to get that mid turret. And ever since then, it has been snowballing out of control here as far as turrets go for Overpowered. And El Yolo has just had no answer for it. They are now going to try to get an ulti off, and they do land it on a Panda's Poacher.
Oh, and the bubble just misses. Nice dodge there by Panda's Poacher. But if that ult lands, let's see if the ultimate comes out from Caitlyn. Will that be enough to pick it up? And Psych Out actually picks up the kill, but goes down herself. So that is a 1-for-1 exchange. But the carry picked it up compared to the support. So win overall for El Yolo.
Yeah, nice job there by Ezreal dodging that. It was really dodging that bubble. Gave the opportunity there to stay alive. This big fat chocobo being jumped on here in the midnight.
Yeah, I stand corrected. Big fat chocobo will go down. That was actually a win for Overpowered, not for El Yolo, because it was Psych Out compared to Panda's Poacher that picked up the kill. But they did even up they have evened up the kills here. So El Yolo, is trying to make some things happen. But let's see if they're able to defend this mid turret. It's really the objectives that are making the difference here. Meanwhile, Aquarius actually gets knocked up there by Moon, but Moon, I don't know if Moon really has the damage to take out Aquarius, especially since Aquarius, has minions in her favor.
Yeah, so, nice box there is going to slow down Aquarius enough. But yeah, getting a little bit too deep there. Mega Moon trying to defend this turret. Ezreal is now in the area, so they're going to keep it alive for now. But that mid turret going down, and El Yolo pick up their first global objective of the game. And yeah, right now they're down 3-1 in turrets and 1-0 in dragons, and that's really where we're seeing this gold lead here coming out here from Overpowered, as Owner Poner doing a good job pushing in here in this top.
Yeah, so it looks like we do have not a whole lot of farm differentials coming out across the map. I guess in favor of one side necessarily. About 20 CS advantage in favor of Renekton, but then on the flip side, 20 CS gold or 20 CS advantage in favor of Xerath. So the farm actually pretty even across the board. But it looks like the ultimate actually comes out, Flash coming out, and Mega Moon is actually taken very low. Mega Moon will go down. Panda's Poacher will be taken very low. Does get taken out as well. Just Casual is in a very dangerous place there. Psych Out almost going down, but the Ignite will not be enough to take her out. Big Fat Chocoboca will go out, be able to get away from that. But, oh no, Big Fat Chocoboca actually gets stunned up there by Zygex. And it looks like Zygex will be able to take out Big Fat Chocoboca. So that is a 4-for-0 exchange in favor of El Yolo. So again, just like last game, once the team started to get behind, I guess it's flipped this time though. But once a team started to get behind, they show up again.
Unfortunately, Big Fat Chocoboco was just unable to do much. Tried to get onto Psych Out there, but just the wall that was being put up there by minions, as well as just the tankier champions from El Yolo, made her a little bit null in that team fight, and she was not able to assassinate anybody, and that really just turned it in favor of El Yolo, so they were able to pick up that 4-for-0.
Yeah, and it looks like Mega Moon's doing a good job of clearing out the vision and granting his team vision. So
yeah, and that was a big part of last game as well. Mega Moon doing a great job of vision, although he does get caught off by Zygex.
Zygex does catch him out. The exhaust comes down, however. One-man army will be able to pick up the kill. Zygex is there. Zygex is pretty low, but won't go through that box to take the damage. And it looks like this bottom turret will go down. Minions will finish it off.
And that is going to be another turret there. They actually are now in the lead with that 4-for-0 and that turret. They're able to pull through in a very slight gold lead. Still anybody's game at this point, though, as Overpowered now pushing back. But yeah, and it has been confirmed, or at least it looks like Ezreal is going to be going for that Trinity Force first. And so he'll be seeing a power spike here in just a bit, as he actually... see here. He's got 1,800 gold, so he is actually just a little bit away from picking it up as they're pushing this up, this bot line down.
Yeah, and looks like the traps actually. Big Fat Chocoboco stepping right into Tower Fire before taking the trap. One more turret is being threatened here, but it looks like the ultimate actually coming out from Nami. The ultimate landing from Just Casual onto Psych Out. Owner taken very low as well. Flash coming out there, not entirely sure who that was going for. Psych Out being taken out by Owner. And it looks like Zygex wants to make something happen along the bottom here. Teleport actually coming out from that Nasus. Charm landing. And it looks like Owner might be able to get away from this Big Fat Chocoboko. Nope, Owner will go down. And a nice Black Mamba picking up a kill there. Panda's Poacher actually jumping onto one-man army, and it looks like Panda's Poacher is going to go down. Godlike.
Yeah, and once again, a 4-for-0 exchange, and I mean, just a lot of good things happening there for El Yolo, but one of the major things, Big Fat Chocobo has just not been able to assassinate anybody. He got right underneath that turret, and he split the difference between I think it was Dequarius and Psych Out with that charm, and then was unable to finish up with enough damage to finish them off, and Dequarius escapes with just a little bit of health. And once again, a 4-for-0 exchange is team fighting for El Yolo, absolutely shining here in this game, as they're 14-5 in kills, and all of that has happened with the last 2 team fights.
So red team actually picks up the dragon, Nami picks up the dragon. There's been a lot of supports that have been picking up dragons in this series. I think it happened once last game, and it happened once this game. So the support's playing a big factor in those dragon kills.
Supports damage OP. It's going to be OP next season with all the changes that they're making. As a support myself, I'm very excited to not have to spend all of my gold on wards. But anyway, keeping to Season 3 that's where we are now. Overpowered, just down a little bit extra here that they don't want to be. They still have some opportunities, as they do have the full set of front turrets down to match the full set for El Yolo, and we'll see if they can catch anybody out, as one-man army and Zygex pushing in this mid lane a little bit too much, maybe.
Yeah, so Elise, that victorious Elise skin, proving to be a big nerf for Elise, as last game, Elise had quite a bit of deaths, also a lot of kills, but still quite a bit of deaths, whereas this game, a 7-0 Elise, proving that it's definitely that victorious Elise skin that's a nerf for the champion. Meanwhile, Dequarius does have that red buff, so will be able to slow some people down as they're coming in. But it looks like Big Fat Chocoboko might want to go in on this. Nope.
Yeah, he was spotted out, but didn't like what he was looking at. Zygex, that front member there, he wants to get to the back to get to Aquarius or one-man army as they're pushing up this mid lane. Zygex now jumping
Big Fat Chocoboko taken low. The charm misses. Oh, the ultimate from Caitlyn will be able to take him out. Just Casual actually taking on Zygex, but he's in a very dangerous location. The ultimate actually landed from one-man army, and one-man army will blow up that Renekton. Meanwhile, Just Casual does get knocked up by the bubble, but nobody has the ability to follow up. The ultimate will go down. Just Casual will get knocked up, and it looks like Just Casual's in a very dangerous location. Will take that dark passage to safety, but legendary Elise flashes across the wall to pick up another kill. And we'll see if she is able to get out of this.
Yeah,
and
nice
yes, she
bubble
is.
there.
Nice bubble there by Elise. So Zygex again. Oh, the ultimate will not be enough to take her down. Zygex flashing red, but will survive. Meanwhile, another turret goes down, and it looks like Dequarius. Oh my gosh. Panda's Poacher being taken pretty low. The tilt over Peacemaker just missing. Moon actually being taken low as well. Will go down. Rampage for one-man army. And El Yolo looking very strong. Just finding kills where Overpowered's just not expecting kills to happen.
Yeah, right now, just the mechanics coming out from everyone on Yolo, really, and especially one-man army, just absolutely exploding champions when you would not expect it at all from a Xerath. And that's just making the difference here in this game in a lot of ways. And Big Fat Chocobo, you saw he landed a charm there onto Xerath, and they got Xerath lower than I think I've seen him the entire game, except for that one death that he had. But because when they land those charms, that's going to be a really big factor. They weren't able to take him down, but that was the biggest window they've had as far as taking down these carries. And it's just a very, very uphill battle here for Overpowered, as they are now 18-5 down. And a sizable lead here as Big Fat Chocobo does get caught out, forced to ultimate out.
Yeah, he is forced to ultimate away, but only has used one charge. Now 2 charges of the ult. Big Fat Chocoboko actually being chased out by Psych Out, with the rest of the team behind her. And all 3 charges of that ultimate have been used. But they will opt to perhaps push in different lanes now. Psych Out actually trying to take on Chocoboko by himself. Psych Out likely will go down there. Uses the ultimate to try to get away, but the ultimate from from Vi comes out. Psych out taken very low, and it looks like Just Casual now will be able to... We'll go down there. Aquarius actually taken low as well. Owner Poner will pick up that kill. So a lot of, again, just overextensions there by both teams. Led surprisingly only to one death, though.
Yeah, no, really, it was a nice flash and Q out there by Vi, and they're actually now being jumped on.
And as soon as one-man army shows up, a kill being found where perhaps a kill wasn't there in the first place. So one-man army really making the difference there. Black Mamba actually goes down. One-man army steps into tower fire, takes 2 tower shots, and a couple of kills there. Oh, and it looks like that will be one-man army going down to the Ignite. Zygex now being charmed up there, but Zygex will repel across the wall to those wolves. And will be safe because nobody has the ability to follow up on that. It looks like Vi trying to do so, but you know, at least just very fast in that spider form and very, very immobile as well.
Yeah, no, but you saw in that last fight, I mean, the 2 very key charms landed there by Chocoboko were able to pick them up. An overall victory, I think, in that interaction is actually he is jumping onto Aquarius, but once again does not land that charm and is going to go down.
But that is a 1-for-1 exchange, and a lot of assists had gone down. Black Mamba also used a teleport to try to come in there, but unfortunately didn't work out too well for El Yolo. El Yolo actually taking a commanding lead, both in terms of gold objectives and towers and kills. So a lot of gold lead, or a big gold lead coming out for El Yolo at this point in the game. They are about 6,000 gold up 23 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and the where that gold is also really important. I mean, obviously Elise has a ton of gold, and because she's been able to get that and stay largely safe in this game. We saw last game she had about as many kills at this time of the game, but last game she had, well, I think 4 or 5 deaths around this point of the game. It's actually one-man army being caught out.
Yeah, one-man army throwing down an ultimate charge out of position and then throwing down the other 2 ultimate charges once he realized he was dead, but just doesn't have the damage yet to blast them out of the water without follow-up from his other team. Meanwhile, El Yolo picks up a dragon.
Yeah, so that's a nice pickup there. That's I think their first dragon of the game. The first one went over to Overpowered. But yeah, as far as that's concerned, though, the gold right now very heavily in hands of Xerath as well. He's second on their team in gold, and he is absolutely ripping apart in these team fights, where it's actually now being jumped on.
Yeah, Aquarius will not go down there, but they will poke him down enough so that they can pick up another turret. So this will be a turret to help even out the turret lead. So they're only down by 1 turret now. Meanwhile, Zygex actually, his spiderlings get hit there, but decides to walk away as well.
And actually, Black Mamba in this bot lane doing a fair amount of damage to this turret. Knows that everyone's missing, though, from Overpowered. Is going to back off safely. And so does not pick up a turret on the back side of that. But, yeah, and honestly, though, El Yolo, they just got caught out there. One-man army getting caught out early on. Aquarius getting caught out. He lived through it, at least. But they just were a little bit spread out there. And they gave up the turret because of it. So a little bit of ground given back to Overpowered here as Psych Out was roaming around the map, clearing up ward, clearing up this vision here and giving them damage here. It's actually Zygex checks out, gets some action onto Chocoboko.
Chocoboko being taken very low from one combination of Zygex. Zygex, Elise actually is notorious for having quite a bit of AP scaling on her abilities, so she can do tons of damage without actually having a whole lot of AP, and you can see she really only has 1 ability power item. I guess she also has the Magic Pen coming out from those boots, but you know, all you really have to do is build Magic Pen on Elise and you can still do quite a bit of damage. So I mean, yeah, it's, you can just see how much damage was thrown down onto Big Fat Chocoboko, despite the fact that Chocoboko, I guess, doesn't have a whole lot of defense, and usually you don't want to build defense on an Assassinator, so...
Yeah, but either way, yeah, Ari just forced to use that ultimate defensively there. It should be up fairly soon. It should be up in time for this next team fight, though, as actually we're going to see some trades going across here, as this bottom turret being picked up by El Yolo, but this mid being approached on by Overpowered.
Yeah, and we'll see if this works out for them. They do have some members coming back here. Psych Out actually throwing down the ultimate. The tower not going down. Psych Out actually not going down as well, so a kill being picked up by Dequarius. And they will not pick up a turret here. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Black Mamba has picked up a turret and will continue on. Owner Poner actually going down. One ultimate coming out. Big Fat Chocoboko going down. 4 kills coming out. Panda Poacher is low. Zygex will be able to... Nope, won't be able to take him out. Did try to get into range, but an inhibitor has gone down, and it looks like Black Mamba wants to continue on to get another turret.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Ezreal, he's being chased, and he actually is going to be brought down, but he was unable to back and defend as, yeah, Black Mamba left by himself. Vi and Megamoon about to respawn here, but they gave up 2 turrets and an inhibitor in that last engagement, and the base races are not going well for Overpowered. We saw it last game, and we saw it this game, or we are seeing it this game as well, as they're going to lose a Baron out of it as well.
Well, Ezreal not the best tower pusher. He does have the ability to do quite a bit of damage in teamfights, but just not the best tower pusher. So, in addition to those turrets going down, they do also have a big wave in the top. So it looks like they want to try to potentially siege this turret. The lanes will continue to push because that inhibitor has gone down in the bot lane. But it looks like they will try to siege on this turret. But One Man Army is not with them. He is back at base. So this might be a great time for Overpowered to force a 4v5 teamfight. They have to be very, very careful, though. They have to focus the right people. And you can see that Yolo is not taking any chances there. They really just want to siege down this turret because bottom lane will push. And so as soon as you see bottom lane push to the Nexus turrets, you're gonna expect to see Overpowered break off to try to deal with that. But at this point, it looks like El Yolo is just trying to push all of the lanes.
Yeah, and when you notice, real quick side note here, Psych Out has been dancing around this area of the map, right where these wards are now, and just now does not have that Oracles. Was just dancing there to get these wards dead, as we do see the team fight starting across the board here.
Yeah, the ultimate does come across. Bubble lands onto 3 members of the team. Moon taken very low. Just Casual will go down. Owner Poner actually in the middle of them. 1-for-1 fight so far. Black Mamba gets Thresh hooked up there. Black Mamba will not go down there. Owner Poner actually being taken low by Zygex. Zygex will not pick up the kill though, but Zygex can continue on. Has quite a bit of damage. The charm does land. They do step into tower fire. Panda's Poacher, meanwhile, on the backside will get stunned up and taken out by Zygex. So a 2-for-1 exchange coming out there in favor of El Yolo. I guess just kidding. 3-for-1 exchange coming out there. And meanwhile, a turret does go down. Is that a Nexus turret that went down?
No, it's the mid turret actually went down to minions.
Okay, mid
there.
turret went down to minions.
And now we actually see Black Mamba teleporting in.
Yeah, Black Mamba does teleport in, but it's just to pick up the turret. So one more turret goes down. Here goes another inhibitor likely. Just Casual wants to take out Zygex, but will be stunned up and likely burst down. One Man Army's on a rampage. And that will be another inhibitor going down. The charm lands, but the damage just isn't there for Big Fat Chocoboko yet. Owner Poner being melted despite the fact that he's the tankiest member of their team. So, yeah, Big Fat Chocoboko almost goes down. Oh, but will be killed by a minion there, by the super minion. 3 inhibitors going down, 3 members down, and it looks like they're going to try to finish this off. Panda's Poacher actually goes in there, will not be able to pick up the kills. So, a lot of kills coming out. And this game was basically won all at once by El Yolo.
Yeah, we saw that last team fight. It seemed like it was just dragging on forever. It was a 1-for-1 until just the very end when El Yolo was able to clean up a few kills honestly with the range from One Man Army and just the raw tankiness from Black Mamba and Zygex, and they were able to finish it off for the victory here at 30 minutes into this game and convincingly winning that game, the second game out of this best 2 out of 3, and bringing home the gold here. As they are going to take home the first prize. So
who would you give that MVP to?
The MVP, I've got to say, Minions. I think Minions right now for El Yolo. They picked up that turret and then inhibitor, and they were able to pick up, finalize that kill there on a Big Fat Chocoboko in the end. No, but realistically, One Man Army had a convincing game there, even though he was in that 2v1 situation early on. I'd probably have to give it to him, although as far as the scoreboard goes, Zygex, obviously, just a very strong showing there on Elise as well. But I'd still have to give it over to One Man Army for myself.
I completely agree with you there. One Man Army just dealing out tons of damage. I want to see what the damage recap was, because I have a feeling that it was one-man army that dealt the most damage on the map, which, yes, that is correct. So a KSing Elise there without any deaths. But yeah, I would give that MVP over to one-man army with a notable, I guess, honorable mention for Zygex there.
Yeah, I mean, and that ended up being kind of one of the biggest rifts in the game, was the damage difference between those AP solo laners, and Xerath just utilized to the maximum in that game. As El Yolo picking up this win in the Epic Fall Tournament.
Yeah, so they do pick up the win. They did get first place. Those prizes will be dished out somewhat soon. Hopefully by the end of the day today. I don't know how long Riot takes to actually dish those out.
Well, that can be up to a month. Yeah.
Okay. So it might be a
for
while.
Your players. Yeah. Just be, it's going to be a little bit. Yeah. No, I've been doing a lot of tournaments for a long time, and just be prepared for that. They've gotten a lot better with their process though, so you never know.
Okay. All right. So that's the end of the tournament. Again, I will go ahead on Battlefy. It will reflect the winnings very soon here. I believe that we can announce the first, second, third, and fourth place teams. Yep, we have Innocent Bystanders finishing third, Team Power Rangers finishing fourth, Overpowered finishing second, and El Yolo finishing first. So congratulations to all the teams that won, and thank you everybody for competing as well.
Yes, it was much fun. I casted a couple of these games, and yeah, definitely a very, very fun tournament for all the Epic people that were involved. And thank you for inviting me, Sana.
Yeah, no problem. All right, well, that is the end. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and thank you for tuning in today.
Yep. Oh, wait, can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just so you guys know, and I hate to plug but I'm going to be streaming later today. And the only reason I mention it is because I don't know if you guys like The Legend of Zelda, but I'm going to be playing Ocarina of Time from start to finish all in one sitting, and it's going to be a drinking game. So if you if you're bored on this Saturday, definitely tune into that. It's just twitch.tv/Gilfrost. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I figured
no, that's fine. That's legit. I actually probably will tune in. Probably not to the whole thing, but I'll tune in to part of that.
I'm not expecting most people to, but yeah. So we'll see. Actually, I think I'm gonna honestly go get some food, buy some drink, and then probably come back and start. So.
All right. Well, I wish you well in your endeavors into the Ocarina of Time. And yeah, thank you very much again for tuning in. This was the end of the Epic Fall Tournament. Videos will be on YouTube shortly.